Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at an updated version of the Three Body Technology Deep Vintage series. If you didn't check out my video on the original Deep Vintage series, go ahead and do that, but this is the updated version which both updates the existing plugins that were part of this collection and adds some new great sounding modules to it as well. So right off the bat, let's just jump into the comparison between the two. On the left side is the old version of the Brit 73 AI. Here we have the preamp models on the left, which we click through, and the drive control separately, whereas the new version has just a single drive knob, kind of like the real hardware would have. Everything else about the EQ section is pretty much the same. For all the plugins, things are laid out a little bit differently. In the old version, we had a noise on or noise off button. Down here, if we hit this kind of little bulb, we can choose how much noise we have, adding a ton of noise or none at all. We can engage low frequency saturation or this retro DAW slider, which mimics the sound of a retro DAW. We also have a harmonics amount down here, which we'll talk about what that means in just a second, and oversampling down as well. So a few more features, a little bit different layout than last time. So let's talk about this harmonics here. The harmonics directly edits the network model to lower the amount of harmonics generated. So like at 100%, the plugin works totally normally, keeping full harmonics as close to the actual hardware model as possible. But by lowering the value, we can reduce the amount of harmonics in the signal, getting a cleaner sound. So you preserve the frequency response. If you've got a dynamic plugin, you preserve the dynamics, but we are not getting as much harmonics involved. One of the new things also included in the new version of the plugins is saturation level monitoring, which is great for preamp sections here. Basically, if you're lighting up the yellow here, you're getting saturated signal. If you're lighting up the red signal, you're getting distorted signal. If you're lighting up none of this, you're getting slightly colored or just no processing at all. And we can adjust this drive knob to adjust that saturation level. So if I bypass this old version, I'll play the new version and kind of dial in this drive. We're barely lighting up the yellow. Push it more. And getting full on distortion there. So really easy way to control that amount of saturation you want and some nice feedback with these lights. So I'm going to kind of skip over the plugins that were in the old version of this and just talk about the new models here. So we're not going to really dive into the Brit 73. We're probably all familiar with 1073s. The first of the new models in the collection that I want to look at is the Brit 84. Again, another Neve style EQ. This is based upon a Neve 1084. It's got more EQ options than the 1073. It's got a high Q mode that the 1073 doesn't have. It's got an extra low pass filter. So let's hear how it sounds. So before processing, we have this. And with some processing. Easy to use EQ. However, on a computer screen, I don't like some of these Neve style controls with these outer band for frequency and inner band for gain. On the hardware, super simple to use. On a mouse controller, not easy to use at all. So it's a little bit annoying to use some of these Neve style EQs. But I realize that these are trying to be truthful to the original versions. All right, the next new model we have is called Transformer X, based upon obviously Transformers, especially vintage Transformers with their signature sort of iron sound. Really, this is a color box that's built upon a vintage US Transformer. It's good for adding warmth, body, thickness to the signal. So let's try this one out on bass and see if we can sort of thicken the signal up here. I'll bypass it on and off as it plays. Now it's kind of a low signal, so if I really push the input up and pull the output down a little bit, you'll hear a bigger difference. And in boost mode, you get even more different characteristic. The next module we're going to look at is called Nylon. This is based upon a model of a unique circuit that offers two different modes of coloration. You've got yellow mode and green mode. Yellow is sort of at high end and green is for the low end. And they're both considered transparent overdrive. So they have harmonic content that's being added to the signal, but not as intense as a typical processor would be. And again, yellow mode's mostly high frequency harmonic content. Green mode's low frequency harmonic content. So let's move it to green mode and try it on this bass part again. And again, I'm going to have to boost up the input and pull down the output to really drive it. Without it on. And with. And again, 3 different profiles captured here. Very subtle differences between them. If we go to the yellow mode, you can hear a very subtle shift from where those harmonics are happening. Great for subtle coloration, nothing too thick in this one. All right, so this one's based upon a classic piece of gear, of course, a Pultec. And this is the Tube Shelf, a model of both the frequency response and the coloration of the original Pultec. Let's see if we can do that typical trick of cutting and boosting around a certain frequency. This time for bass, we'll go to 100. Typically used on kick, but it's one really cool thing you can do is cut and boost the same frequency here. Now, one of the really cool things is this Pultec comes with the other 2 Pultec emulations that allow you to shape more frequencies besides just that low end and top end. So you've got Tube Bell as well, sort of fills in the mid-range mist stuff here. And we've also got Tube Filter included in the sort of Pultec style. Basically, high cut, low pass, low pass filtering. So that covers all of the newer models in here. Of course, this is all based upon 3Body Technologies' newest neural network, sort of AI-based capturing of these hardware models. You also get the Brit 73, the US Rack, the Thick Pre, the Green AD, as well as Tape S and Tape N as part of this whole package, which you can buy as a package or buy individual plugins from. So highly recommended, this 3Body Technology Deep Vintage series. Check them out for yourself. Really cool models of actual hardware gear using AI to capture those models. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.